What's going on, guys? So I want to talk about something that's kind of a general subject. In terms of Pokemon, this is not a specific video today on any product. This is more talking about the hobby as a whole, because I don't do a lot of videos like this, but I was like, you know what? I got some free time before work. I've got some opinions that I want to put out in the world, and I'm gonna let you guys know what I think. So Silver Tempest just came out. Crown Zenith is about to come out. These are the latest Pokemon card sets that have released. With Silver Tempest, I've been watching the chase card, which is the alternate art Lugia V. That card was $300 when it started hitting the secondary market. Then it was $270, $280. Then it was, my wife's checking up on me. Then it was $250, $240. Now you're seeing people put listings for buy it now prices for that Lugia V alt art for $220, $230. Going as high as like $270, I think. I don't think there's a lot of people trying to get $300 for that card anymore, unless it's perfectly centered and it's likely to get a PSA 10. But I just got mine. It's in the mail. It should be here by Tuesday, so I'm excited to do a video talking about that card. I've really been keeping up with the modern TCG as far as just making sure I have at least one booster box of every set. In this case, I have 6 booster boxes in one case, which is 6 more boxes of Silver Tempest. So I have 12 boxes of Silver Tempest, which is by no means anything crazy. There's people that have, an extra room in their house full of Silver Tempest, right? Like they have a ton of Silver Tempest. I wish I could take that route, but I'm still trying to take care of my financial situation. I'm honest about that. That's why I talk about it in a lot of the videos. I don't know if all the streamers or YouTubers are swimming in cash buying all this product, or if they're just getting the product for discounts or free, or they're plugged in. But it's very expensive, and people aren't really talking about that. This hobby is really expensive. Collecting Pokemon cards is really expensive, especially if you're going to collect the vintage era stuff as well, which I like vintage era stuff more, arguably. There will come a day where kids don't even know about the vintage stuff, and they probably won't care about it that much, honestly. But here's my take on Silver Tempest. Here's my take on Pokemon kind of as a whole. So Silver Tempest, let's see. It's got the Lugia. You've got Radiant cards. It's a cool artwork. You've got several Lugias in there, which we haven't seen Lugia in general. So Lugia is really the big reason to buy Silver Tempest. There may be other cards that I should be talking about, but I think that the Lugia is the card that everyone cares about. Now, I waited. Instead of doing what I typically do, which is I look and I just try and buy the most competitive price, but I still stay in the range of what's kind of normal, like 200, 220 probably was what I almost bought the card for. And then I saw a listing for 200 with an offer up, and I offered the guy 165 bucks. The photo was poorly lit. The card is not centered. That's okay to me. I don't really care about that. But he took the offer for $165. So I got my Silver Tempest alternate art Lugia V for $165. Now, from a rational standpoint, it's a little bit much still. It's still a little bit too much money. But from what I understand, some people are pulling the Lugia V alt art in 3 booster boxes. So even if you're getting those boxes for $100 a piece, that's a $300 card. Now, on top of that, you're gonna get a ton of other cards, but you're also opening up that sealed product. For me, it was a better decision to keep the sealed product sealed and just buy the card. I've referenced this experience several times on YouTube. I've talked about how I bought a ton of Brilliant Stars, and I opened like $1,200 worth of packs and booster boxes, and I didn't pull the Charizard V alt art, and that was devastating to me. And that kind of taught me, getting back into the modern hobby, that it's a lot harder than people think to pull those chase cards. That being said, I decided that, 200 is probably fine to buy the Lugia Alt Art, but I felt 165 was a really good deal and I had to have it. So I'm excited. I'm hoping it comes in and everything checks out. It should. There's plenty of these cards on the market. I'm not worried about like anybody counterfeiting them, but Pokemon is becoming really popular again. So, and it could be a cyclical thing. Like, people may fall back out of the hobby again or get burnt out, especially like YouTubers, myself included. Gets hard to keep up with the hobby, but here we are still doing videos. I did my recent video yesterday. I had bedhead, but I was so excited to do a video that I did it anyways, even though my hair was crazy and I looked like a homeless person. So now we've got this iPhone 14 Pro. It takes really good quality resolution videos. Super excited about that. So now I'm like just more excited in general to do content. I got this new, I just shook the table. I got this new leather chair that's super comfortable. So I'm just more, I have a more comfortable mindset doing these videos now. It's more comfortable for me. It's easier for me now. But talking about Pokemon, the entire set, all the sets that have released this year, sets that will release in the coming years, I really think fundamentally, as long as you're keeping the product sealed, I think that Pokemon cards are going to go up in value a lot. Now, when I say a lot, I think 100% is kind of a guarantee. I'm talking like 1,000%. I'm talking, I think that a lot of these sets are going to be worth 10 times the amount that they're selling for currently in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, that could be a long-term horizon. That could be a long-term time to wait. But in the meantime, Pokemon, there's no shortage of Pokemon cards. They're just getting printed and printed and printed over and over again. And, it's exciting because now I've been keeping up with the modern hobby. So now I have all the sets that have come out in Sword and Shield. Crown Zenith still has to come out. But I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be a good place to park my money. And that's from an investor standpoint. That's not just the collector. As a collector, I think the price point could be a little bit lower. And I think with inflation, the prices will get higher. I do think booster boxes are about to be pushing 110, 120 regularly or more. And that's going to make buying them now this year for like 80, 90, 100 bucks, that's going to make that seem like a really, really good price down the road. I think a lot of people that are going to get in the hobby down the road, especially kids that grew up with Sword and Shield as the era that they grow up in, I think they're going to look back and they're really going to want Fusion Strike, Darkness Ablaze, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, mainly Evolving Skies. If you know, you know. Evolving Skies is the set. That's what everybody wants. Right now, a realistic price for Evolving Skies is like $220, $230, but I think they have sold for upwards of $300 for a booster box, and you might not even pull anything that great in there. That's the case with any booster box, but they're still selling for a lot more than the other boxes, mainly because of the Umbreon and the Rayquaza. I ended up buying those as well. I did not pull them as much as I would have liked to. I'm just not as lucky as some other people are. And you know what? If you're gonna pull that card and then list it, if you're gonna pull an alternate art V card and then, or VMAX card, whatever, and you're gonna list it immediately and sell it, I will happily buy it off of you because some of us just aren't that lucky. But in terms of all the sets that have been coming out, I really think they did pretty good overall. I definitely have some criticism coming back into the modern hobby. I'm like, I'm so excited to open up this stuff. And I was opening a lot of packs early on in this channel. I was opening up a lot of modern packs. And it just really wasn't a fair trade-off. But, I think down the road, it's going to be a guaranteed thing. I really feel like it's a guaranteed thing. It's a good investment. Yes, they can reprint sets, but eventually they're not going to be reprinting any of these sets anymore. It's only going to happen so many times. The Charizard UPC is a great example. Right now, that thing is not moving at all, and I didn't even open a single one. I kind of still want to open a Charizard UPC for this YouTube channel, I feel like that could have been a really good video, like a really good content to do, but I also felt like this stuff is probably going to be worth more sealed. And I think I have maybe 7 Charizard UPCs, or maybe even more. I'm not even sure how many I have at this point. I think it's 7. Um, but I'm really just gonna hold on to that stuff. Really cool artworks in the Charizard UPCs. I think just the fact that it's a Charizard based UPC is the reason why it's gonna skyrocket down the road. But I really think, guys, I think as long as you're able, as long as you have the willpower to buy sealed product and sit on it, mainly cases. I'm not talking about single booster boxes. You are not really going to get your value. I mean, you could. They could be thousands of dollars someday, but I don't think you're going to get your value from one single booster box. I think if you're buying cases, you're going to make your money there for sure. If you're buying cases, you're going to make your money. Because you're getting those booster boxes at like 80, 90, 100, 110. You're getting them for bottom dollar wholesale. Even if you're buying the cases from another distributor, from another wholesaler, and you're getting it for like 540, 600, I just don't think that you can go wrong there. And I've been, when I got back into the modern hobby, all my vintage stuff has come from online or locally. But the modern hobby, I've been getting all that stuff from hobby shops and GameStop. And I've definitely overspent in that respect. I've spent too much money going to local game shops and going to GameStop and buying stuff Target, Walmart. I mean, there's a time where I would buy any modern product, and that is a mistake I feel like a lot of modern collectors are going to make. You have the money, it's dispensable, you're like, I'm gonna buy whatever I can find, and that is not a good way to go about it. It's not a good way at all to go about it. What I'm thankful for is now that I've had all this experience and all this time back in the hobby, I know what to look for. And at least I feel like I know what to look for, and I want other people to feel like they know what to look for. If you guys do want to get into collecting sealed product as an investment, my card store is starting to kind of pick back up. I'm starting to sell stuff again, mainly vintage. But my plan is to keep collecting modern sealed product, and then at some point unload some of that sealed product for a premium, not only so I can get my principal back, but so I can make a profit on it. And that'll be product that I sell through my Mercari store. But that could be years. I'm gonna wait a long time for this stuff to go up in value. I'm not desperate to get cash for any of this stuff. The only stuff that I'm desperate to get cash for is overextending myself on vintage product. I buy several versions of the same thing, and then I need to at least sell 1 or 2 to account for how much I've spent overall on all this product. But I really think like you're just buying a booster box sealed and sitting on it for years. I think you can't go wrong. Let's just see. Lost Origin, for example. I don't want to mess up this booster box. Okay, we got it. All right, Lost Origin, for example. I bought a case from someone locally here in Charlotte for $540 for this Lost Origin booster box case. It's $540, which means my cost was like $90 a box, right? So if this is 120 or 130 now, I'm not entirely sure. I'm already making my money on the box. Now you got to ship it too. And shipping for something like this, it's expensive because it's heavy. That being said, I think that next year a box like Lost Origins it's going to be out of the era. It's not going to be in print. It may get reprinted at some point. Who knows? Maybe they'll release packs in some kind of gift box or other stuff, Pokeballs, tins. But for the most part, I think that this is going to be probably $200 next year, which means I've doubled my money in 1 year. Now, that's 365 days. You're playing a waiting game still. This is not a get rich quick thing. Like, anybody can feel like they're a genius and tell you, buy Pokemon, it's gonna go up. I like the artwork of the boxes. I don't mind keeping them sealed. I wish there was more artwork on the parts that's white. That negative space kind of annoys me. I wish there was artwork throughout the entire thing. But anyways, that was just an example. And, I have, you know, I have sleeves. I have a lot of sleeves too. I think this is a great route if you want to piece out your collection. If you buy a ton of sealed sleeves, I think that's a great route. But guys, when I see this artwork, I don't just see Fusion Strike. I see a really amazing artwork down the road. Like from the vintage standpoint, I think that this bright pink, purple, all these colors, the blue and the fusion, you know, the yellow Pokemon, you've got Gengar on there. I think packs like this are going to be really expensive down the road. I have really no doubt. I know the pull rates aren't as good as they used to be. I know that it's hard to get the cards that you want, but with inflation and collectibles tending to go up, especially Pokemon being such a mainstream collectible, I think it's kind of a no-brainer investment. And despite what my family thinks, what my friends think, what my wife's family thinks, anybody's judgment whatsoever on me from spending all the money that I have in this hobby, I am enjoying it. I am enjoying feeling like a kid again, and I'm making money selling this stuff, which feels even better because from a business and investment standpoint, I want this to work out. So I'm telling you guys, if you're just ripping through packs and you're looking for your cards, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that for sure. You know, a lot of people are doing it for fun and the enjoyment of it, and a lot of people probably don't support or respect people like myself that are buying a lot of product and then keeping it sealed, which causes the prices for the most part to go up. Now, I am not buying so much product that the prices are going to go up. I am in no way one of those people that could possibly inflate the value of this stuff. But you are going to have people that slowly realize that there's money in this hobby, and they're going to come into this hobby with the big bucks, and they're going to be buying out supply. I'm trying to remember this other YouTuber that said he has a $3 million position in Pokemon right now. Like, he just bought tons of cases of stuff. I'm really, I think it's like Alpha Investments, something like that. Alpha Investments, maybe, with Rudy. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. But Rudy was saying that he has a $3 million position in Pokemon. No one's buying sealed product. Stuff is sitting. And guys, it's no surprise that we may be going into a recession. Also, it's no surprise that if everyone thinks we're going into a recession, we might not be going into a recession. We might be causing prices to fall lower than they actually should be. And I think this is applying across the board. Cards, housing market, cars, the stock market. I think everything could get really cheap and then shoot back up. And so for me right now, I'm happy to get my financial stuff taken care of because I do want to continue collecting, and I've got a lot of sets to finish. I don't know what this binder is right here, but you know, I have several binders of both Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm also a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm going to try and angle this and not mess anything up. But at the very top there, you can see all the Yu-Gi-Oh booster boxes. At the top there, the vintage Yu-Gi-Oh booster boxes. I have a lot of that stuff as well. I've got some binders from trying to complete the original sets. But yeah, in here, the first set is Neo Genesis. You've got the Lugia in the middle there. I just set it up how I wanted to set it up. We go through all these Neo sets, and we got Expedition, which isn't complete. And then we've got Aquapolis, which I'm having a hard time completing as well. Some of my Aquapolis stuff. Oh, let's see what's on the front page. Yeah, so I almost got the front page of Aquapolis finished. Most notably, the Arcanine is probably one of the nicer cards in Aquapolis that isn't a secret rare. And then I've got all the commons and uncommons. Oh, okay. And then we get into Skyridge, which I've got the Arcanine and the Articuno, which are really expensive. Right here, we've got the Arcanine and the Articuno, but I'm missing several things. I have all of the commons and uncommons. I have everything else. I guess I'm missing a couple of those too. but I have mostly everything else. My point is, right now, stuff is going for pretty cheap, I feel like. So I'm trying to get back into the hobby for the vintage stuff and buy some of the cards I need to complete these binders for my Wizards of the Coast sets. And that's getting off topic. That's talking about vintage stuff. I just think it's a really good time to buy, and I think in the long term, buying Pokemon cards, I don't think you can go wrong with the modern stuff. I like the pull rates suck. You know, some of the cards I could care less about. Sometimes I'll pull hollows and it's just like meaningless, and that's just me. It might not be that way for everybody, but you know, I want the chase cards, so it makes for me the way I collect the things that I want. I want the chase cards. I want the cards that I think are the coolest. Even the cards that might give me some nostalgia. And then I want to buy a sealed product and keep that product sealed so that I can sell it down the road for a nice profit. And it'll pay for some of my other sealed product. So that's kind of my strategy. I know it was kind of a rant, but I'm just excited that I have this new phone and now I can make higher quality videos. And I don't know if you guys want to tell me what you think. I don't know if you guys are more into the vintage stuff or if you like the modern sealed product. But I do think one day down the road, people are going to be like, that kid Orion bought a lot of Pokemon stuff, and I kind of thought it was ridiculous, but now he's making a lot of money selling that stuff. I think that's what's going to end up happening. You know, I've already passed $10,000 from sales from my Mercari store. I'm hoping by the end of 2023, I can do another $10,000 in sales, and maybe pass up $20,000 in sales. It's not a lot of money, but it's a start. I'm starting somewhere, you know, and then on top of that, you know, I'm running the bar Starlet on 22nd. So I have a full-time gig that I'm already doing. I really like selling cards. I like doing these YouTube videos, and I was playing video games and I was just like, this isn't as fulfilling as it used to be. You know, I'm gonna go make a YouTube video and talk about something that I'm interested in, that being Pokemon, and where I think the hobby is going. I think Pokemon is doing a great job of printing enough stuff for everybody. Now I walk into the GameStop and there's no shortage of anything. There's piled up product, and that's great. But I do think down the road, booster boxes specifically booster boxes and booster packs, I feel like that stuff is going to go up in value a lot. And I feel like it's a no-brainer. And these are all speculations, right? I'm a pretty speculative investor in terms of the stock market and Pokemon cards and TCG. The main thing is, though, I love this stuff. It makes me happy. My collection's grown a ton in the past couple years, and it's definitely caused me a little bit of grief. You know, some things I've gotten scammed on, some things I could have gotten a better deal on, but at the end of the day, it's a learning experience. So your failures are something that can build on to your successes later in life, and that goes with anything. And then just to be persistent in whatever you're doing. You know, whether it's your work or a hobby or something that you're creative, this is me being persistent and trying to continue doing these videos and making content that I hope people can get some information out of and some value out of. I'm really excited to be in this hobby, and I think it's amazing how much stuff I've collected over the past couple years. And, you know, I've realized I took a break for a little bit. You know, I stepped back. I wasn't collecting stuff as much, and that's healthy. That's okay to take a break. But what I never did was I never stopped looking, technically. I'm always looking and seeing, you know, what the prices of things are going for. And not so much like past sales and listings, more so I'll watch items, you know, whether it's on Mercari or eBay or Craigslist. I'll like have stuff pulled up and I'll watch it and I'll see if it sells. And if it goes off Craigslist or it gets sold on Mercari or someone wins an auction on eBay, I'll see what someone in real time paid for something, and that'll give me an idea of how the market's really feeling. I think I think this entire community as a whole needs to come together and say, like, enough is enough. Everyone is paying way too much for these cards. We know it. We know it. It's like me buying stock the past couple years. Like, I know I paid way too much for some of the stock that I have. I know that I could have waited for prices to come down, and I'm kind of learning to do that better now with Pokemon cards. Um, it's this the Lugia V from Silver Tempest is a perfect example. Um, it's, everyone was paying 200, 300, and I just got mine for 165, and I still think 165 is too much money for one single card from that set. Do I think in a year it's not too much money? Absolutely. I think in a couple of years, as time goes by and the cards aren't fresh out of the packs, I think they should go up in value a lot. And Silver Tempest specifically, I think, is an incredible set, and I think it's going to be probably $300 next year. The reason I feel that way is because of the Lugia, and because it's one of the last sets that's coming out this year, and it's a pretty banger set. But in the last 2 years with Sword and Shield, I think it's really Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, yes, because it has the Charizard. Other than that, Brilliant Stars was really grueling for me to open up. But Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, and Silver Tempest, I think, are the big three sets that are going to go up this year. If you want me to just make it as simple as possible, Evolving Skies, Silver Tempest, and Brilliant Stars are the three sets that I would buy, and the three chase cards that I would probably go after. The Umbreon and the Rayquaza from Evolving Skies, the Charizard V Alt Art from Brilliant Stars, and the Lugia V Alt Art from Silver Tempest, and then collecting all those sets sealed. Now, I think it's a good idea to have everything, because maybe not a good idea, but I'm a perfectionist and a completionist, so I need to have everything. That's the same reason I'm trying to complete these binders, because I don't just want the holo cards and the crystal secret rares. I want it all. I want to have everything collected, because it's fun. That's the whole reason I keep doing this, because it's fun, and when I complete something, I feel accomplished. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry this was such a long rant, but I had a lot of points to make, and I wanted to keep it specific to Silver Tempest, but really, it's just the whole hobby. All these sets, I think, are going to go up in value, and it's speculative play, but I am confident, and I have a high conviction, and I don't plan on selling any of this stuff anytime soon. I'm really going to give it several years until I think about selling this stuff. And I know there's other people with the same mentality, and that's why I think this hobby is going to go up in value easily. Anyways, guys, peace out. If you are going to start collecting, I highly recommend going and chasing the vintage stuff first, the older stuff first. If you want the older stuff, I would go after it now, because that stuff is just, it's so scarce now. Like, everything is drying up. It's harder and harder to find older cards. The exception is like base set and jungle set and fossil and base set 2. Like, all those were printed to oblivion, so there's a lot of those holos still out there. But then when you get into like the Neo Genesis and the EX era, I think it gets more difficult, and those cards get a lot harder to get. Like the Gold Stars, for example. Gold Stars are like impossible to find now in decent condition, and if you find them in decent condition, they're hundreds of dollars. So you're going to spend thousands of dollars to complete a gold set, a Gold Star set. Anyways, there's so much I still have on my list. There's Charizards that I still want. I want the Gold Stars. I want the Shining Pokemon. I still need a first edition Charizard, first edition Shadowless base set Charizard, which those are like thousands of dollars. So there's a couple cards that are still on my list that I really, really want, but I know that I need to cut back financially, and I need to prioritize my business and selling cards and bringing in money so that I can collect efficiently and for the long term. It's a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. If you're collecting, you gotta be watching stuff every day, looking for those deals, and they're out there. They're still out there. even 20 years later, there's still deals to be had on vintage stuff. And I imagine the same will be said of modern sealed product. People are going to have these boxes in 20 years and they'll go up for sale. But I think that boxes like this in 20 years are going to be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, just because of time that's gone by and, inflation and the value of collectibles and the scarcity of, sealed product down the road. So we'll find out, only time can tell, but those are my thoughts on it. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.